Real quick before we start this video, don't mind the Cuphead gameplay. I just needed something in the background. I'm really sorry. Welcome my fellow blenders. We're gonna start this video today with, is YouTube a reliable instructor slash teacher slash thing for not young, beginner barbers, young or old? So I think to start this off, right, I would say you need to go on YouTube, but also make sure you find a trustworthy barber, one that's been making tutorials for a long time. Find some good tutorials that really go in depth on the technique, but also make sure that when you're trying to find your technique, find one that makes the most sense to you, one that's like easy to understand, but also stick to it. Because I had a few times when I was first starting, I was trying to do a whole bunch of techniques, and I was trying to start off with the JV cuts technique when I first started, which I was kind of cooked, you know. I wasn't that good at it, but later on I found out the Lance Baker's technique, the fading down, which has worked really well for me. I know a lot of people are like speed or time is money, speed is money, but at the end of the day, if you master a technique, you'll get faster with that technique. So it really isn't a huge deal how you cut your hair, just making sure you're efficient in how you do it and the way you cut it. I'd say also don't solely rely on YouTube to get better, right? So it's a great source of information for you to learn, but you also don't want to rely just on YouTube. Like, just because you've seen the tutorials doesn't mean you're automatically good, because to actually get better at cutting hair, you have to actually cut. I used to think like, oh, I've seen all these tutorials, I was like, I can get better automatically from this. But you actually have to have the clippers in your hand and really cut the person's hair to understand where certain lines are, dark spots, understanding where you're struggling, and for the next haircuts you do, you can improve on that. Which with YouTube, it's like you're just watching someone else do it. You already know what to do for the most part, but also that's how you remember your technique as well. Going back to the first point, you start to memorize your technique the more you use it. So just sticking to one and really focusing on mastering it. When it comes to solely relying on YouTube, you can use other social media to find more information. There's a lot of good information on TikTok, Instagram. It can also give you an idea of what the trends are, sounds that are trending, songs that people are more likely to see your videos with. So I think that's a great idea. And also, just if you know any barbers in your area, asking them for tips would also help as well. So point number 3, if it's possible, I would say work towards getting into a barber school, or maybe going to a barber shop and getting an apprenticeship to work towards your license, because not having a license really restricts you in a lot of things. I'd say barber school is a good way to do it. It's, you spend a few months in the classroom learning how to cut hair and the hygienic stuff, because when you're not in the school and you don't really understand how the hygiene stuff works, it can be kind of gross, right? You don't want someone that doesn't know how to clean their clippers properly or disinfect after. So it kind of just mainly to teach you that. An apprenticeship, I'd say, but with barber school though, it is a big investment. You could drop like 20K on a barber school, so that's something you'd have to look out for, and if you're willing to invest in yourself for that. But on the other hand, an apprenticeship, it is free. You just got to make sure you find a barber that is willing to teach you, but also one that teaches well, because you don't want a trash barber teaching you for a certain amount of time, and then you end up taking the state test or knowledge, whatever, and you know nothing, right? So just making sure you do your research and ask around, because there's a lot of barbers out there, a lot of good barbers. I'd say that pretty much is gonna wrap it up in terms of whether I think YouTube is a reliable teacher for barbers. And if we're gonna answer that question, I would say yes. And if you are wanting to start out, and if you have nothing else to teach you, then go for it on YouTube. And I think it's a really good option. All right, well, with that, if you guys want to like and subscribe, if you found this information useful, I just needed a video to make, but I'd really appreciate any support, like, subscribe, post notification bell, and leave a comment as well. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.